Can I be heard? Can you hear me? Yeah. Just waiting for the sound to come through. Am I good? Yeah? Awesome. Hello, my darlings. How the hell are we? Thank you so much for gathering here. You can hear me. Thank you, Isabel, for letting me know. Hi, Zachary. Hi, the Marshmallow of Doom. Great username. It's so delightful to be here, darlings, to celebrate finally hitting 60k on YouTube. As many of you know, I'm not really one for like checking my subscriber count and like obsessively focusing on it, but I did decide that one of my New Year's resolutions for 2025 was to just get more eyeballs on the channel. It deserves to be seen by more people, and a lot of you beautiful new people are here, as are a lot of my old faithfuls. So hello, I greatly appreciate you. Yes, Kellyanne streaming, exactly. The non-aesthetic witch, another great username. I am here. I'm going to be doing one card readings. Please do not let me know what your queries are for the cards just yet. I will let you know when is the time to start giving me your questions for the cards. I've brought my trusty Rider-Waite Smith with me, darlings. Yes, we are going tradish this eve. And I will be doing one card readings for free, which is highly unlike me, actually. But it's something that I do like to do now and again as a show of gratitude to you guys for being a part of what allows me to be able to do this incredible work full time, for trusting in me, for your incredible comments underneath my videos, and just like the community that would not be there were it not for you lot. So I truly appreciate the experience I've been able to have. And you know, doing this, and it's because of you. So let me sling cards for you, my darlings. I cannot wait. I'm very excited. I do have a moderator today, my trusty half European, half honey badger, Danny. So Danny will be making sure that the reading queries come through to me via our handy dandy thread on WhatsApp, so I don't have to keep being overwhelmed by the chat. He's just going to go through, pick through the reading requests and send them to me on WhatsApp. I'm going to try and do as many readings as I can today, but please do not be offended, and please do not write in if I do not manage to get to any of your readings, okay? This is just a nice, fun little experience, gratis for everybody, and I'm going to try and do as much as I can, but I'm one human with one deck, okay? There's a Boom Saxagophia there. That's Danny saying hello to everyone. You will notice that he is a mod by the little wrench / spanner next to his name. We call a wrench a spanner. So yeah, there we go. Oh, there's so many people here. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Blonde Essence Raven. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Carrie C. Hi, it's Panda. It's Panda was just hanging out over on Patreon and now here. Hi, Michaela. Hi, Tony. It's very, very lovely to see you all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, Kelly Jelly is from Colombia. Hello, Colombia, and hello to you, darling. Okay, so I just want to say a couple of things, darlings. Obviously, play nice. I know all of you will, but if anybody doesn't play nice, don't worry, because Danny will be booting them out, okay? Chat shit, get blocked. That's how things go over here. And don't be alarmed if the card that you receive during your one card reading is a card that you may consider to be negative or alarming or shadowy. It is really important to always remember when you are having a reading with a good and experienced, responsible reader, that you are having a reading in which every single card in the 78 card deck has a spectrum from light to shadow, conscious to unconscious, dormant to active, darling, okay? Positive to negative. So don't worry, okay? If you have a one card reading and your one card is like 3 of Swords or the Devil or the Tower, and you're just like, oh no, I know a lot of horrible things about this card, don't worry, you're in very fucking safe hands here, okay? I'm going to keep it extremely profesh, so do not worry. Thank you so much for all the congratulations for me on 60k. I'm super pleased. That was the plan and I achieved the plan. So now let's celebrate. Okay, my darlings. So I'll take a little swig of water. And as long as you can all hear me on my very fancy new lavalier mic, darling, then we will get started. Okay. What I would suggest you do with your with your request for a 1-card reading is try to avoid any yes or no questions, darlings. I'm not here to tell you what the fuck to do with your life, okay? We want the questions starting with how, why, when, where, whereabouts, who, what, etc. And the reason for that is because I'm not here to dictate what you do. It is not for me to tell you whether you should take a job or not take a job, whether you should get married to that person or not, etc. Whether or not something is a good idea or not. What I'm here to do with the cards is to give you the opportunity to really ask yourself the questions you may not have asked yourself yet, to look for inspiration in directions that you so far haven't explored, and to give you something to chew on. But ultimately, you are the captain of your ship. And that is what I really, really like to keep in mind when I'm reading tarot. But don't worry, if I get any yes or no questions, I will reshape them. So I will still be answering your question. Even if you're not sure how else to ask your question, I will figure out a different way. So we will be fine. Okay. All right, my darlings, get the questions coming in. What are your queries for the cards? Let me know. I would love to know that. I have a yes or no question straight away. But it's okay. I can switch it. I can change it. Let Danny get his head around what's going to come first. All right. Victorian Beauty, 1887. I just got a new job. Is there anything I should know before I start? Bloody good question. Let's see what the cards have got to say. Congratulations on the new job, by the way. That is excellent. The card that you have coming through for this, ooh, 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is the card that's come through. This is interesting. This new job seems to have the potential to give you a lot to be able to harvest and work on. There is a sense that if you are consistent and dedicated, the harvest will be tasty. 7 of Pentacles is a card about patience, consistency, discipline, putting those seeds in and tilling that soil over and over again, with the understanding that you might not be able to achieve everything that you want in the first 6 weeks or the first 3 months. But if you really, really want to make the soil your own and make a meal of it and get the field into a beautiful roaring harvest, you have every opportunity to do so. This new job is likely to give you perhaps some opportunities to build your sense of maturity, to actually own your sense of what it means to be diligent in your work, you know, to have that discipline, to keep going with something and to really be able to see it land and to see it rise in the oven. So there's a lot of satisfaction that will come with this job, but some of it will be the longer haul, you know. It will be the kind of satisfaction that ekes out over time as you become more and more interested in the job you're doing and in love with the feeling that you're getting that you are succeeding. There are some things that you might have to wait slightly longer for than you wanted, okay? If a promotion comes up, for example, you might not necessarily find that you get that promotion first time. You might have to kind of really dig into the fact that you want this and you want progression, and that you will go for the next one and you'll be patient and you'll bide your time, right? But there's certainly elements of harvest and energies of success in 7 of Pentacles. It's really a question of, are you in it for the long haul? Are you prepared to learn about yourself and your ability to be mature and to take this job in a sophisticated manner that will be able to show these people your skills? A very, very exciting card, I think, for the new job. I love that. Absolutely love that. Jess Palmer. Darling, there was one right at the beginning about a boyfriend. I don't know whether or not you got that one. It was like the first question I got about whether or not someone would get a boyfriend in 2025, which I won't answer. Okay. Yeah, I won't answer it exactly that way, but I'll answer it in some way. Jess Palmer. Thank you so much, Kellyanne and Danny. What energy could I be working with right now as I move forward through this time of transition for my highest and best? Great question, Jess. What is the energy that you can be working with? Let's see. As you move through this time of transition for your highest and best. The energy that you can be working with is King of Wands. Ooh, high-powered energy, high octane, the energy of sovereignty, the energy of independent thought and vision, lots of spiritual flamboyance, lots of creative autonomy. King of Wands is very much in control of that space where sorcery and artistry meet each other. And there is a lot of power to command over that space. One of the things that could be really good for your transition into the highest and best phase of your life would be to think of yourself as someone who connects the spiritual to the artistic or visionary, and you bring those two flavors together, and they are what give you access to opportunities, successes, and feelings of elevation and joy. King of Wands, I think, is really a representation of how much this phase of your life, this post-transition moment in your life, will be about owning your fucking power. Really being who you want to be and who you know you are in your soul. You're going to become much more connected to the leader archetype as opposed to the follower position. And certainly you might ruffle some feathers with that. And there might be some things that you want to say and some things that you want to wear and some things that you want to do with your time that you hadn't previously had the confidence or the vision to be able to really execute. But now you are in your potency. So you're moving into this stage of being in your fire king potency. Think about the words fire and king and the way that they combine. And then think about what that means to you. What does the king archetype mean to you? King archetype does not have to do with actual physical sex. Everybody has a king archetype that they can work with. So what does the king archetype mean to you? When you're in king energy, what are you doing? And then think about fire. What does the element of fire mean to you? How does that sit in your psyche? And where do you find the combination of fire and king in your body? Because that's going to be what a lot of the transition energy is leading you towards. Remember, fire is creation, destruction, vision, warmth, heat, light, energy, momentum. And king is sovereignty, in charge of yourself, independent, you know, able to build your own thing, leading, not following. Very, very powerful. Wow, that transition is going to be very intense. I love that. Gwen's query: what theme should I keep in mind when ordering my next reading from your store? Oh, we like that. Love that. You're going to be ordering your next reading from my store and you want to know what theme to keep in mind. Okay. Let's find out. What should I be reading for you on, Gwen? Okay. Ooh, 9 of Pentacles. We need to lean into your success journey, baby. 9 of Pentacles is a powerful one. You are being very much urged by spirit to move towards allowing yourself to focus on your success, your stability, potentially also your visibility. And really that sense that you are allowed to build things that give you success, that symbolize prospering in your life. Very exciting. I think 9 of Pentacles is giving yourself permission to focus on how things could be overwhelmingly positive for you, how you could gather your resources together to create something that really reflects these things you've been wanting to build and focus on, and how can you receive material abundance and material stability with those things that you want to build. This is very much not necessarily very shadow worky or very deep emotional healy, go into the roots, go into the past. This reading is going to be way more about, I want to fucking build. I'm ambitious and delicious, right? What is this thing that I'm supposed to be building? How can I get those building blocks in order to create something high and tight and celebratory of me and what I want to do? There is definitely a sense that we need to look at effort, we need to look at discipline, and we need to look at consistency. There's no way 9 of Pentacles gets to be this person without having those qualities. And so we will need to look at sharpening all of that up. But in terms of what is the theme is your success. The theme is your achievement. The theme is feeling that actually you're on the right track, you're seeing results coming through, and it's really celebrating the joy of that, figuring out how we're going to make that happen. Very, very cool. Can't wait to read for you, darling. Zachary Giles, advice for juggling both work and full-time school at the same time. Oh, we all know that is a very difficult one. Okay. Juggling work and school. Gwen says, wow, literally building something right now. It's very big and entrepreneurial for me. Thank you. Excellent. Love that. Okay. Juggling work and school. Let's see what comes through. What you need for juggling work and school is 8 of Swords, Zachary. 8 of Swords. I think that this is an acceptance of some of the frustrations that come in. Sorry, 1 second. Joey, they're not ordered in the order of being posted. They're not answered in the order of being posted. No, they are just like, we try to get the order that they're posted, but I might not necessarily. They're free readings, so I will just do as many readings as I can. Okay, don't worry. But yes, only 1 question per person, please. Okay. Sorry, Zachary, where was I? Yeah, so 8 of Swords. I think this is a representation that whenever we're juggling work and school, we do have necessary frustrations that we have to accept, right? And so one of the things that might help you is to make sure that your mindset is not geared towards really trying to pack everything the fuck in, right? This is you feeling frustrated that you can't take all of the actions you want to in every area of your life while you're juggling this stuff. While you're doing school and you're also doing work, there are always going to be areas where you feel a little bit of bondage, a little bit of restriction, you know? It's a little bit of that sense that like, I really wish I could break out. I wish I could have more movement. I wish I could fall asleep knowing that I've done everything that I want to do. And actually what 8 of Swords is saying is it's better to actually think actively about the things that don't need doing sometimes, right? We were just talking about this in the Patreon live, about the idea that time management and energy management can sometimes be just as much geared around the responsibility that we have to decide what doesn't need doing as the responsibility to figure out how the fuck do I get everything done that I want to do. I've made a big list of things I want to do, domestic stuff, stuff to do with school, social life stuff, creative stuff, spiritual stuff. How do I get it all done? Rather, what's better to do is to be calm, sit in that bondage of time, understand that yes, time is in bondage to an extent right now. It's fucking difficult. I can't get everything done that I would idealize to do. So let me sink into that. Let my nervous system accept that. And instead, I'm going to think about what is it that actually does not need to get done? What is not of great importance? What can I take off of the list? And every time you do that, think of it as an achievement. Think of it as something that has really allowed you to free up a little bit more time and energy. Gentleness with self is important too, Zachary, okay? Whenever you feel like this, like time is bondaging you and tying you, it's really important that you be gentle with yourself and say to yourself, I've made my commitments and they're holy and sacred. I'm so pleased I've made those commitments. Let me go forward with that consciousness in mind. Midnight Rainbow, what does justice look like in this current situation, please? Cryptic, okay. What does justice look like in this current situation? Not sure if you're referring to the collective situation or a personal situation, but let's see what will come through. Five of Cups. Justice looks like people having to feel their feelings about what they've done, about what's been done to them, and being able to feel that they're allowed to feel their feelings, right? That people are allowed to connect in with their deep emotion. 5 of Cups is often representative of things like wallowing, fully grieving, letting it all out, focusing on what's been lost, focusing on the injustices that have occurred before we can focus on what's next and what hope we have and what's in the future, these cups behind. We have to let ourselves sob and get into our grief about what was unjust, what should never have happened, what is unfair, you know? And so I think a lot of where the justice comes in is in feeling the emotion, knowing that it's okay to feel it. And I think also having it witnessed and held. If you have been experiencing injustice, then you deserve to have your feelings about that witnessed and held. There is a sense that justice comes when you feel you've been understood and supported through the feelings that you've been having around what has been done. And the same with somebody else. If somebody else has gone through injustice, then it's really important that we witness and hear their feelings and understand how things were from their perspective. What was their truth? I think it's really about acknowledging we have the right to feel our feelings. We have the right to, you know, and what's really important is that we also give other people that expectation that they can have, that we are going to listen, you know. Very, very powerful card. I think it's really the permission to feel deeply and to not have to just immediately switch to like, okay, what's next? Injustice occurred, it was horrible, but what's next? Where are we going? What's the next responsibility I have? No, we deserve to be able to break the fuck down sometimes. We deserve to be able to say that wasn't okay. We deserve to be able to feel it with our gods, feel it in our therapy sessions, feel it with our journaling. Very, very powerful card there. Heathen Botanicals. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Oh yeah, super chat. Okay, I'm going to do Heathen Botanicals and then I have a super chat. I will prioritize the super chat because it's a little tip for me. Thank you. Heathen Botanicals, Megan from Arizona. I would love a reading about my business and expanding my clientele. Okay. So the card you need about your business and expanding your clientele, my darling, is, oh, pick the last one. Queen of Wands. Very powerful. You have a very specific vision for your business, and there's a lot of excitement and fire and creativity and imagination and vision that you can put into your business. I think that your potential clientele really needs to see that from you. Don't be shy of it. You know, don't worry too much about shaving your personality down, not talking about some of your more madcap ideas, doing it by the book, right? You know, maybe not swearing, or maybe not talking about certain things that you think are a little bit, you know, divisive or whatever. Queen of Wands would not do that. Queen of Wands is in the energy of her authenticity, her independent thought, and she actually knows that a lot of what makes her business grow is the stuff where she is a little bit more divisive, she is a little bit more feisty, she's a little bit more out of the box, and she's willing to expose some of her more far-flung imaginative ideas, right? So Queen of Wands is asking you to be in your boldness. It's really asking you to connect with whereabouts you are unusual. Where are you different? Where do you have a strong opinion? Where is your vision really bursting through, but you're holding it back, you're shaving it down, you're a little bit nervous of what people will think of it. Don't be nervous. Don't panic. You know, it's really much more about that sense of like, I can really be in my vision, in my sovereignty, in my authenticity. Bit flamboyant, bit different, maybe a little bit dangerous. I like to think I've run my own business with quite a lot of the, you know, the Queen of Wands energy, I must say, definitely. Okay. So I want to grab this super chat up here. Debel.
Scroll down.
Scroll down.
WhatsApp. There's a screenshot on WhatsApp.
Okay, but I don't, okay, because you're ticking all the messages, aren't you? So I can just go back up. I've got it here though. Is it Debel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I want to know if I should go full in with the business idea I have right now. I love your content and you have given me so much clarity. Thank you, darling. I really appreciate that so much. Okay, let's see. What should be going on with the business idea right now? Are you going full in? What is happening? Hang on, let me get my cards where I want them to be. Ah, tarot with talons. It's always fun. Okay. Let's find out what you need to know about this business, about your level of commitment. Okay. All right. The card you need for this, my darling, the Empress. Ooh, this is powerful. Well, there's a lot of energy here, a lot of energy for this business idea. Certainly it's there's an energy of birth, there's an energy of fertility, there's a creatrix energy, there is a sense that actually you have a lot to give to it, right? Whenever we see the Empress, we very often are thinking about how much sort of nurturing and nutrition we have to be able to give to something. And that's really powerful that the Empress would come up. I very rarely say this, my darling, but it is rather a good omen, isn't it? Isn't that a nice omen, the Empress? Hang on 1 second. Belle, the question, is she doing non-super chat questions chronologically? I am doing them as chronologically as I can. Danny is going through and selecting them as chronologically as...
Screenshotting everything.
He's screenshotting everything, yeah. But listen, as I said at the beginning, because I know there's a lot more people here now, I'm not going to apologize for questions I didn't get to, guys, okay? It's free, it's live, and I'm trying my best. So it's as chronological as we fucking can, okay? All right. If you want a reading, you know where to find me, though, okay? There, I have a website. All right, the Empress. So this is a good omen, right? whenever we're looking at business and we're asking ourselves, how much do I put in? How much do I dedicate to this? The Empress is a sign that we have a lot to dedicate to it. So if you've been doubting the level of energy and the level of power that you have to put into this, don't doubt it. The Empress is a mirror card. It is reflecting back to you this incredible energy that you've probably been building up for a while, that you've been ready to invest into something. And maybe this is exactly the thing that you want to invest it into. Now, that is not to say that you should be burning the fucking candle at both ends, pushing yourself so hard that you're not resting, you're not having social time, right? The Empress is very ambitious about creative fertility. She wants to get those creative babies out of the birth canal of her mind and heart and spirit, but she also is very aware that rest, nutrition, relaxation, rejuvenation is very important, okay? Her teacher is the garden. Her teacher is the earth. And she knows that there is always a cyclical nature to that, okay? We cannot be go, go, go. It can't be summer all the fucking time. And that is in the earth and also in business, okay? So very important. Loved that. Okay. What should I do? Should I do another? Oh, okay. Okay.
Scroll down.
Oh, Ghana Sanaway. Hello, darling. It's lovely to see you, darling. Lovely to see you. Okay. What's the question, though, babe? No question?
No, click it. And it will...
Oh, click it. Oh. What? Click it. Oh, is there a message on it? Oh, here we go. My question is about this new evolution.
No.
That's what it says. How dare you, Daniel? Dare you question me?
Sorry, this is our first time, guys.
First time doing this, never done this before. It's kind of mad, I've got to say.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going down to the end, yeah. My path seems more clear, yet I'm hoping for more guidance on what the best direction is to take with my business. Okay. All right. There was a comment on the actual thing, though. Oh, we've lost light. Okay, so more guidance on the best direction to take with your business. Okay, so the card that's coming through is, ooh, Three of Swords for the best direction to take with your business. This is powerful because this implies that the best direction to take is one that does not discount your difficult emotions, your most powerful and divisive opinions, and it's how much of yourself you want to put into your business journey. Do you want to hit that light, darling, as well? Yeah. Did your lamp just die? Oh, no. Guys, I'm so powerful right now that I just killed Danny's lamp by accident. Yeah, so for business, this is powerful. How much of your emotion do you want to put into your business? How much of your raw emotion is your business helping you to actually process? And also, where is it important to boundary the amount of honesty and raw emotion that you're going to put into your business? Right, so the direction of a business being symbolized by Three of Swords is powerful because Three of Swords is where our grief is stored, our loss, our difficulty, our heartbreak and heartache. It's that sense of the difficult shit we've been through. And with a lot of businesses, especially of the variety that we run, right, there is a lot of, we do access our pain to write and to make videos and to teach, right? And we are very honest about who we are and why we came to the point where we want to deliver help, right? So you will have to make some decisions on that. There are some things that need to be boundaried, some things that are wounds as opposed to scars, and you are not supposed to expose those wounds. You are supposed to keep them private and heal them. You do not want to be healing them in the midst of your audience and your clientele and your public. However, there are some really tough scar tissue aspects of you, things you've been through, things that make you angry, things that animate you, that would be incredibly powerful to share as part of your business. So it's really thinking about how much you want to expose those aspects of you, darling. Very, very powerful card, I must say. And really, don't ever forget that whatever you build with your business should be something that feels it supports you emotionally as well as everybody else. If you feel like you always feel bad when you're dealing with business stuff or designing things for your business, if you come away feeling drained, fuck that, you know. Super important that you make sure it feeds you as well. It feeds you also, okay? Okay. Thank you for the super chats, my darlings. I love that. I'm going to do a couple of others that are not super chats. Then I'll get back into super chats. Much appreciated. Love that. Danny, can you tick Heathen Botanicals for me? I'm going to go on to Billy Way.
Yeah.
How do I make things easier for myself and my family when I'm traveling away from home? I always feel so guilty and heartbroken for leaving them for several months at a time. Oh, Billy, that's tough. Okay, darling, let's have a look at how you can make it easier for yourself and your family when you're traveling away from home. See what the cards have to say. Okay. So, the Chariot. Very interesting because it's very traditionally a card that is all about traveling away from home, leaving home. That is really the most traditional way of reading the Chariot card, right? It's this sense that actually we're going on some quest, some mission, some work assignment, we're leaving the homestead, and we're really kind of like into the sense of quest and into the sense that something has got to get done and we need to be prepped and in position to do it. I think the Chariot is really saying something about the way that you relate to your own work, what you allow it to do to your mood and mindset. And I think most of it is really about your headspace, Billy. I think it's really about that. The Chariot, I think, is a symbol of you going off to do your work, spending several months away at a time, right? You're on a big mission. This is a quest, and this is you on this work quest. One of the things that would make it easier potentially is where your headspace is on this quest. When you go away to do your work, what is going on for you with self-care? How are you able to monitor and process your emotions when you're away? What kinds of things do you feel like you need emotionally? And how are you tapped into what your family needs from you when you have calls together, when you plan what's going to be going on in your absence and what's going to be going on your return? We all know work can be a deeply stressful thing, right? Especially when we're away for a few months at a time. I don't know what you do for work, sweetheart, but that's always a stress, right? So it's really that sense that how are you enabling yourself to deal healthily with work stress? When you go away, how do you maintain a sense of being the best version of yourself in your professional persona and with the work that you do? Because that has a knock-on effect for your family when you speak to them. It has a knock-on effect when it comes to how much your family worry about you. And it definitely has a knock-on effect when you get back from your long stint of work. If you've been in a foul mood, not processing stress, not self-caring properly, not hydrating, not sleeping properly, worrying, you're going to come back and you're going to put that into the family situation. You're going to bring that vibration in with you, and you will have had no opportunity to deal with it or to be kind to yourself about it, right? So it's really important that you make sure that you leave for your work assignments with the correct headspace, the right mentality, the willingness to self-care, the willingness to stay in touch with family, but also to make sure you stay in touch with you. And then when you get back, you bring a nice, higher, tighter vibration back into the home environment as well. So start with you. How do you feel when you're away at work? And how can you improve that scenario? How might things need to shift so you can feel really good work-wise? Billy says, definitely made me tear up. Thank you, Kellyanne. You're so welcome, darling. You are so welcome. All right, my darlings. I'm going to do another super chat, and then I will do Ivory Girl and Melissa Baker. Okay. So I'm going to tick Debbie L because Debbie L's been done. And then also I'm going to tick... Where's the other one that I just did? The other super chat that I did. Oh, you sent it further down, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tick that one too. Can you tick Billy for me? Yeah. Okay. So next person I'm going to do then is H3 Chill. Thanks so much for all your incredible work, Kellyanne. Kerry from NS. Where is that? Wait. I'm having a brain fart. What is NS? North, it must be North. Nova Scotia? No, that can't be right. Anyway, would love a card pull as I navigate living with my mentally ill mother. Okay.
Yeah, Nova Scotia.
Oh, it is Nova Scotia. God, look at me go. Yay! H3, I got it right. Okay, let's figure out what you need, what card you need to help you navigate living with a mentally ill mother, which sounds very difficult. 8 of Wands. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah. This is really powerful because it does demonstrate that there is a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy and a lot of momentum. And a lot that you need to throw things at, right? 8 of Wands is always about fast-paced fire momentum. It's a lot of things either coming at you or a lot of things that you're sending out. And I think with you, it's probably both, right? It's really important that you witness the difference between what is your responsibility, what is yours to fix, and what you even can fix using this momentum and this power that you have. And then what actually needs to be let go. Right, I read an interpretation of this card a really long time ago and I loved it. And it was basically every time you get 8 of Wands, you should imagine that you are a ninja and you can see all these cards wands coming towards you. And you have to catch as many as you can. You're going to catch one in the crook of your neck, one under each arm, one in your hand, one between your knees, but you will never catch all 8 of them. It's not possible. You're going to connect in with what is coming to you that can be processed and can be dealt with, but there's always going to be some stuff that goes by the wayside. There's always going to be some stuff that like you can't grasp hold of. It either wasn't your responsibility or you simply didn't have enough energy. And it's really important that you witness, first of all, you're potent. You have a lot of fire energy. Your mother has probably benefited extremely from the amount of fire that you bring to the equation and the amount of determination that you have to push through, not only in your relationship with her and what she's going through, but in so many other ways. So never discount that. But also, you're not fucking magnanimous, baby. Okay, you're not limitless. You're not immortal. You are not a ninja that can grab all 8 of those wands. Okay, so just be gentle with yourself, please. Gentle with yourself. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the top for a minute. Okay. Ivory girl, my question is this. Will I meet my boyfriend in 2025? We're going to shape that question because I don't do yes or no questions really. But let's have a look at the potential, the romantic potential in 2025, let's say. Oh, got another relationship question as well from Melissa. Okay. Ivory girl, let's have a look. King of Swords. Interesting. Interesting card for the romantic potential for 2025. It's interesting because the way that I'm reading this is that there will only be romantic potential if you look for somebody who is your intellectual equal. You know, if you are open to meeting somebody who actually will stimulate you intellectually, will be able to talk to you about the stuff that interests you and matters to you, and will be a good receptive listener, and you are also interested in what they have to talk about, then you will find somebody that might not necessarily have been the person that you in previous phases of your life imagined you would go for, but they feed you so much mentally that it's actually just full-on sexiness, right? King of Swords is the part of us that loves to talk philosophy over a game of chess. King of Swords is the part of us that loves to flex our brains, right? Use our craniums, feel the mental connection with somebody, not just chemistry, not just lust, not just something that is fleeting. Feels very gorgeous in the moment, but there's nothing backing it up. There's nothing behind it. King of Swords implies that you are ready for the kind of relationship that is going to honor your brain. It's going to honor actually who you are and what you have to give conversationally, intellectually, cognitively to a connection. Your quality control has got to be good. I would recommend if you're ready for this relationship energy, it's there for you, but you've got to sit down and write down a list of your green flags and red flags, babe. Right, because this, I think, is a certain type of partner and it's a certain type of relationship. You've got to be very clear on what it is that you want, that you will not compromise on, and make sure that you read those red flags and green flags, because there could definitely be relationship potential here, but there's also potential for like dead end flirtations or like things that feel a little bit wild in the moment and feel really exciting and like they've got promise, and then flatline, they don't have promise because you're not being understood, because you're not being listened to. So sit down, write out your green flags. One of them has got to be that this person can hold a fucking conversation, okay? They've got to be able to meet you where you are on your level. If not, it's a no. I don't care how fizzy you feel. I don't care how fucking gorgeous they are. No, okay? They have to be able to talk to you. They have to be able to talk and listen. They've got to be able to impress you. If you go for that, it will be good. Yeah, very, very cool card. I'm going to do Melissa, then I'm going to do the rest of the super chats I've received, and then we'll keep going in chronological order. As chronological as I can get it, okay? Don't be believing these people that say I'm going to sit here all night doing it chronologically. I'm trying to get it as chronological as I can. All right, trying my best. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to see you. We're celebrating 60K on my channel. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're not subscribed and you're just here randomly, get subscribed. Don't be afraid. Do it, baby. Melissa Baker, what should I expect from the new relationship? Oh, no pressure. Oh, the star. Beautiful card for what to expect from the new relationship. I love this. All right, a few things. Okay. The star is a beautiful card. Let's not lie. Okay. There's a lot in there about your faith being renewed and a feeling that there's actually a purpose or a direction that you're following. And you actually are agreed on the shape and the nature of this constellation. And it's something that you're using as a compass to direct your path forward, right? And so that's really beautiful. There's also a sense with this relationship that it could be reciprocal, very reciprocal when it comes to giving and taking. And that's beautiful. We want reciprocity. We want to give, but we also want to receive. We want to, give thoughtfulness and love and attention to a partner, but we want to receive that in return. And there is a suggestion that you are at quite a sophisticated, emotionally mature phase of life right now where you really insist on that reciprocity. You're ready for it, you're open to it, and it looks like the energies are really beautiful for that in this connection right now. However, with all of that being said, there is something very interesting about the star sometimes when it comes to relationships, and I'm picking up on it here. The star is about vulnerability too. It is about naked honesty. It is about not feeling very armored, not feeling like we have that many modes of protection against, our big feelings and our vulnerabilities, our fears, our hopes, etc. So, definitely it's emotionally weighted, this connection, by the fact that if you go into it and you give yourself to it more, you're going to find that, like, wow, psycho-spiritually, I feel stripped pretty naked right now. This is not the kind of relationship that I can do with half measures and, playing a little bit by strategy, keeping myself concealed and waiting and holding out and not knowing whether or not I can really trust. This is the kind of connection where if I want it, I have to be vulnerable. I got to go all in. And I've really got to be honest about what is going on inside me. And that is scary to an extent. So you've got to know that you are ready for that and that you want that as well. But what a beautiful card to receive for a relationship card. I love that. So that's what I'm getting. There's definitely mission and reciprocal help and assistance and, all of that beautiful stuff. Light, radiance, hope, a sense of mission. But yeah, vulnerability, rawness, the fear of that, I think. Hi Kelly, you're a queen. Oh, thanks Desert Dream. I do try, my darling, I do try. Okay, so I'm going to do one of my super chats again. Jennifer Wiley, I am kickstarting a glow up and I've made many preparations. I'm wondering what I'm forgetting or missing that will aid me. I'm going to take a little thumb on that. Okay, hi Jennifer, lovely to see you here, darling. What are you forgetting or missing that will aid you in the prep for your glow up? And since I just did the glow up video recently, I love to see a question about a glow up. Okay. What are you missing? Oh, King of Wands. Very powerful. I love this. I think this is your inner visionary. This is really, really potent. So King of Wands is really this aspect of you that is like, what's my vision, and how can I approach my vision like an artist? Okay. How can I actually say, I love to look at my imagination as though it is this delicious kind of like tapestry that I'm weaving together. And I want to see how it looks. I want to feel into how it looks. King of Wands is such a sacred visionary. He loves leaning into like how it's going to be. So he does scripting quite a lot. Third person future scripting. In other words, Jennifer was sat at the poolside on such and such a day, drinking such and such a thing. And then she decided this, and then she did that, right? That's the kind of scripting that King of Wands does very, very well. King of Wands is also a vision boarder, a mood boarder. He's a Pinterest guy, right? He's one of those people that's like, I don't just want to talk about what I'm doing and then do it, or maybe write a quick list. I want to fucking feel it. I want to choose the clothing that's going to be attached to it, the colors. I want to make a playlist. I want to feel deeply into a descriptive poem of how I want my life to look on the other side of this glow up. King of Wands is what brings the artistry to the glow up and really like creates almost a little play of the glow up, right? So you've got to go into your sort of theatrical, artistic, visionary sense of like, I can really see it, I can taste it, I can feel the glow up, I can smell what it's like. It's like vanilla and amber, or it's like strawberries and fresh sea salt. Like, I think you've got to get a little bit artistic, right? You've got to be an artistic mystic about this glow up. At the very least, create a Pinterest board or a playlist, one or the other. You've got to have either a Pinterest board or a playlist for your glow up. King of Wands approaches glow ups like an artiste, okay? All right, my darlings. So, are you pointing at the next one, Jacob? Oh, yeah, I'll do that. So, darlings, I just want to say a few things before I continue on. There are no missed readings, okay? I didn't miss your reading. I'm just doing readings, okay? I'm trying to get them reasonably chronological, but I will, I'm trying to do them in order. But there are no missed readings, okay? Please be aware, there are lots of people on this live leaving a lot of stuff in the chat. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. I'm skipping, you know, backwards and forwards between super chats and other stuff because I do appreciate the tips, right? But basically, I'm just going to go through until I'm done. You know, probably about another 45 minutes. Okay, so please, there's no missed questions. I'm just answering questions. All right. Don't forget, every single time. Joey says, just allow Kellyanne to answer the question she gets. Nobody's entitled to an answer. Sure, thank you. Yeah.
There's only one of me.
There's also only one of Danny, and he is actually trying to help me do it chronologically. Bless him. He's doing his level best, and he's doing very well, actually, I think. So yeah, there are no missed questions. Please don't write in the chat, she missed my question. She is the cat's mother, and I did not miss your question. Okay, baby? So yeah. Jacob, hi Kellyanne and Danny. My query is, what does Medusa have to tell us about empowerment and protection? OMG. Fucking love that question, Jacob. Love that question. What does Medusa have to tell us about empowerment and protection? All right. Ooh, the Magician. Hello, baby. I crush on this question. So good. I crush on this card rather, and this question. I'm crushing on both. The Magician, for what Medusa has to tell us about empowerment and protection, is so potent because, of course, we know that Medusa and her story and her mytho-poetic construct has so much to do with power, with protection, with defense, and with making sure that we can create a boundary and we can keep that boundary. The Magician, I think, has to be somebody that is skilled at also creating that boundary. I think what this is calling us to think on is energetic protection, shielding and locking the auric field, making sure that we are in control and we are aware of what is ours energetically, and that we do not try to process what is other people's energetically. That doesn't mean that we can't help people or listen to people or anything like that. It just means that we have to be aware of our own auric field. What is our business to deal with? What is our responsibility? And whereabouts is the sort of the boundary line between our energy and anything that would come in? The Magician, in order to work the magic that he's working and have the journey that he's having, he has to be able to put stringent energetic boundaries around himself. I think he boundaries also things like his conversation. I don't think he overshares. I think he's constantly training himself to make sure that his energy is high, tight, clean, and on lock. And that he is not really allowing too much stuff to come into his aura that isn't being shielded or isn't being sort of processed through and passed out if it's unnecessary. And in that way, we can do higher magic. In that way, we can have access to far more potent rituals. So I think this is about energetic hygiene, spiritual hygiene. And what Medusa may want us to know right now as a collective with the Magician is, I promise you, if you boundary your shit, if you watch your back, if you put those gates high and tight and you watch who comes in and who goes out, you will be a potent magic maker. You will be a much better class of practitioner. You will have the power to do so much more than you did when your boundaries were flimsy, when your defenses were loosey fucking goosey. It's a little bit bossy, this card, but it's almost like Medusa is saying, get your fucking shit together. Okay, pull in the boundaries, tighten them, make sure that you can see who's coming when they're 100 miles down the road over the horizon. Make sure you've got your stuff in place to be able to know where your detractors are at all times, where your allies are, how much space you have ahead of you and behind you. Do your energetic diligence. Okay, I'm going to go up to the top again. This is exciting. I love this. Witch priest. Why do I like gatekeeping so much? Oh, that's a shadowy question, witch priest. Good gosh. Why do I like gatekeeping so much? Okay, let's do this. I'm going to tick that one. Anyone else who likes gatekeeping, you should also pay attention to this. This is powerful. All right. Witch priest laughing there. Why do you like gatekeeping so much? Oh, strength. Interesting. Okay, here's a few things I will say. Here's a few things I'll say. And there's a few things. All right. First of all, strength implies that some of the things that you like gatekeeping are the very things that you've had to demonstrate intense strength to be able to master. You have sophisticatedly had to train yourself with some of these things that you see maybe other people wading into without prior caution. Maybe you see other people sort of going into them as if it's a little dalliance and they're not aware of the courage, the fortitude, the measured energy that it takes to really flourish, right? So you're seeing perhaps people being irresponsible with the things that you want to gatekeep. You're seeing people maybe throwing around carelessly some of the things that you like gatekeeping. This is a card that represents a mature approach to some of the things that are most important to you, right? You have seen that strength needs to be built over time, and you've enjoyed building that strength and showing that sense of balance, right? And that sense of adjustment that comes through a lot of time of kind of training ourselves in one way or another, or learning something. You don't like to see people rush in where angels fear to tread. What you like is to see people approaching the gates like this, okay? Training themselves, taming themselves, being very sophisticated about how they're approaching things. If you see somebody just fucking tearing at the gate like a bull, the chances are you're going to want to keep the gate. You're going to want to gatekeep that gate, because actually what you want to see is maybe more of this kind of like measured strength and this sense that actually there's something really important to learn here. Don't miss it. Don't waste it. So yeah, I think wherever you have felt that you had to demonstrate strength, you want to see others do the same. I think that's very, very fair. I also think, though, I will say, strength is a symbol often of taming some kind of beast, right? So if we think about the lion as the primal self, the sort of untrained or untethered self, or the self that has primal urges or doesn't think as much from a measured perspective, then the maiden is that part of us that has that sense of responsibility and is more measured. It might be likely that you judge others as being more of that untamed, wild energy that you do not respect as much. You keep the gate because you don't respect the people trying to get through it. You want to see that somebody's coming to it with responsibility and not with some kind of more primal desire or simplistic understanding. So there is a little bit of judgment in there as well. It's like you think you get to decide who are the beasts and who are the maidens, right? And maybe you're quite good at discerning that. I don't know. Maybe you are. Very interesting question. Ale, how can I make my new project successful? Oh, very good question. Okay. How can you make your new project successful? The card that's come through for you. Ooh, the Hermit. The Hermit. One thing that helps you make anything successful is probably... Sorry, I'm distracted, is probably your connection to the gods, the spirit realm, nature, the forces of nature, the things that are immaterial, that are esoteric, that are metaphysical. In other words, the angel share of the guidance that would be best for you for your projects is the guidance that doesn't come from the human mind. It doesn't come from, you know, researching things online. It doesn't come from reading books by experts. It doesn't come from any of that stuff. It doesn't come from talking to your friend who tried to do the same thing and was quite successful at it. You can enjoy that kind of advice, but actually the thing that really makes a meal of it for you, and the thing that you can access so well, is that extra guidance, that metaphysical guidance. Ask for guidance from your guides, from your gods, you know, ask for guidance from that sense of like, that you are connected to the rivers, to the trees, to the sound of storms and rain, that you're connected to the flowers that grow in your area, you're connected to the deities that you work with, the esoteric books that you've read that have had an effect on you, the music that moves you, whatever it is. There's other ways to get answers. You probably have a council of beings that can give you some of the answers that others haven't been able to give you. The hermit has gone up the mountain to improve the signal on the phone call to the gods. The hermit is away from the town so that he can get a clear connection to the divine. And it is the divine that will answer some of those questions that you have, that you might feel like you haven't been able to get answers to as to how to make this project fly. Ask the gods, do divination, do meditation, like do visualize, call things in, right? I think that's really an important part of it. For you, some of your advice was never going to be human. It's something else. It's something more. You're a mystic. Make it work for you. Love that one. All right, I am now going to do silver scale. Thank you for all your work. I'd like to know the outlook for the relationship between myself and the wolf, a man I have a surprisingly good connection with. The wolf. Okay. Thank you for your super chat, darling. I appreciate you. Let's do this. So, outlook for the relationship between myself and the wolf. All right, let's have a look. I'm just reading the energy. Things could change, but let's see what comes up. The Chariot. Interesting. The Chariot as an outlook for a relationship is intriguing because it demonstrates that if you and the wolf can maintain your sense of independence, then your sense of interdependence will be healthy. The Chariot is a symbol of the kind of energy that likes to go questing, you know, likes to adventure, likes to see new places, do new things. The Charioteer does not like to be tied down, but the Charioteer can have a very meaningful and loving connection with another Charioteer because they understand each other. Neither of them is trying to make the other one stay home, right? And this could mean in terms of going out, or it could mean just in terms of psycho-spiritually, right? There is a sense of the adventurer, the traveler, the Charioteer, the one who is hungry for a quest. So if you and the wolf can meet each other in that energy, if you can really feel that actually the Charioteer in you is meeting the Charioteer in him, then there is every opportunity that you will go on an adventure together, that you will select a joint quest, right? Like the Charioteer is not always just somebody that likes to travel alone. The Charioteer is happy to quest alongside others who feel into the energy and really go with that vibration, right? So it's interesting. There is interdependence there and there is a sense of adventure there, but only if you can both allow each other the space to breathe and be who you are. It's likely that you're both very powerful characters. You both have very strong visions and opinions, and you both have a sense that there is a lot more that you want to do before you die. And so it's very important that as long as you're not holding each other back, then you can have a fine time because you respect each other and you give each other the room and the space to breathe. And it's likely that for one or both of you, that's not always been the case with former people in your lives. There hasn't been the room to breathe, you know, and Charioteers don't like being tied down. They like to feel that they can grow and move as they see fit. Very, very powerful though. There's a lot of potential there, definitely. The Chariot is always potential and adventure. So that's very cool to see. I love that. Tick that, or like give it the thumb up. I'm going to go back up and then I'm going to do my other super chat. Mara's Nook. Shall my story best reach its audience as a novel, a television series, or something different? Okay, let's see how your story is supposed to live. Should it be a novel, a television series, or something different? I'm curious. Ooh, interesting. 5 of Pentacles. Very interesting. You know what I'm getting the sense of here? Your novel is probably something that the intricacies and the details of it really need to play out. right? So the novel is something whereby there are a lot of difficult layers and tumultuous layers of detail and possibly emotion. And you're going to want to use the format that gives that the most room for you to be able to explore the inner narratives of the characters and feel into the descriptions of the landscapes and locations. I think what I'm getting from this is that this is not some short or sweet little thing that can be like neatly packaged up. This is something that needs the decadence of the space to be able to explore it as intricately as you're imagining it in your head. As you are writing it in your internal life, it has so much depth. I think it has the potential to make people really feel into some of their shadow feelings and really connect with characters that are going through stuff, that are facing trials and tribulations, just like the figures in this card. And so you're going to want to give this story room to breathe. What is the format that would give it the most room to breathe? For me, I always think novel format is fantastic because we can really let the chapters sprawl out. We can put a lot more detail into certain aspects of plot or narrative that we wouldn't have been able to do with something like a screenplay, where a lot of the color is going to be, put in later by whoever picks up the screenplay. With a novel, you really get to deliver the hearts, souls, and the bile and the shadow of your characters to the reader, to the audience, to the person that's paying attention to the story. So I think that's where I'd go with it. Very interesting, but also I will say Five of Pentacles, despite it being this incredible image of a very narrative, intricate structure with these characters going through so much, it also suggests that this story that you're going to conceive, that you're conceiving of, it may have some serious earning potential to it, and you would not want to risk that. So I can understand why also other formats might be exciting to you, because they might be quicker to do and faster to get people interested in and henceforth sell, right? So there is that little thing to it as well. But I think clearly it really needs a lot of space for you to be able to expand on things, because you do not want to half-ass this story. It's an incredible story. So it deserves to be told in a way that gives it space. Thank you guys for being so sweet about my reading style. Very cute of you all to be so complimentary to me. I love reading tarot. It really is one of my faves. I'm going to go down. Let me have a little look. Okay. Can you tick Jacob for me, Danny? Thank you. And can you tick... Oh, no, I've already done that. Tiffany Crystal, what is the subconscious or less obvious thing that's been keeping or is keeping me from moving forward from the plateau I seem to have found myself, that's holding my inspiration hostage? Okay, well, that's really powerful. What's holding your inspiration hostage? Darlings, I don't think I'll get to any more questions than the ones I already have. There are so many. So I would refrain from questions of now, I think. No, what I'm doing, darling, is I'm going through chronologically, but I'm skipping back to super chats every now and again just to make a gesture since they have tipped me. But no, the super chats do not come first. I'm still going through them, and some of them I started I started them ages ago, so I'm not prioritizing super chats, but I'm dipping back and forth between super chat and normal, if you get my meaning. Okay. All right, Tiffany, what's holding your inspiration hostage? The Hierophant. Interesting. The Hierophant says a couple of things that I think you might want to lean into and contemplate. The first is that the Hierophant implies that there might be a sense for you that you want to make sure you do things the right way. You want to make sure maybe that you know everything about a subject before you really dance around in the landscape of that subject, right? You might feel that you don't know enough yet to start a specific project or, bring a certain idea to fruition. The Hierophant is both learner and teacher, and the Hierophant is very into the notion that things should be done in the correct way. There's a process of learning. There's a hierarchy of things that we need to do. We initiate by degrees. So the Hierophant can be quite rigid and not very kind of like free-flowing. I'm wondering if what's holding you back is this feeling that you have to make sure you get things right, that you are not entitled really to let your inspiration play and paint with it until you know enough and until you're, doing enough, right? Sorry, hang on. Oh, okay, sorry. I apologise. I thought somebody was trolling me, but it's fine. They're just very animated with their language, which is cool. I am too. So first of all, you need to find a place where you can play. Your imagination, your inspiration has to have a little place where you just play. You don't think about like, oh, do I know enough about this? And is this good enough? And do other people do this in this particular genre? And is this the way? None of that. You're supposed to fucking play, okay? So very, very important that you let yourself have that playtime. And during that playtime, you be irreverent, you be silly, you be deeply unserious. You let your inspiration go all the way that it can, right? And I think the other thing that maybe you should note with the Hierophant is that you learn a lot about yourself through your inspiration being free flowing. Okay. So when you let go, when you sort of let go of the stringent desire to make sure it's right and to make sure it's good and to make sure it would be approved of and to make sure you're good enough to do it, when you let go of that and you're just like, I don't know everything about this, but you know what? I want to work in this medium. I want to try something. I don't know if it's good by the standards of whatever the fuck, and I don't care. When you do that, you let yourself have knowledge and access to who you are as a person. So much nurturing comes through that. So yeah, find a place to play, make room for playtime. Very important. All right, let's have a look here. I'm going to do Amelie. Thanks so much for this. Here's my question. I've never felt so lost. What could be a possible first step to take something? Hang on, let me read this again. I've never felt so lost. What could be a possible first step to take or something to focus on right now to gain some perspective? Darling, I'm sorry that you've never felt so lost. That's really hard. Let's see what you need, darling, to gain some perspective. I think that's a great motivation. The Fool. Turns out you're supposed to be lost right now, darling. It's part of the journey. This is powerful. Wow, that's a really big one to get when the question begun with, I have never felt so lost. What could be a possible first step to take? The first step that you can take is to lean into the fact that this feeling that you are lost is actually the beginning of something very, very grand. But you cannot try to skip past it. And you cannot try to do something to numb it. You have to let yourself lean into what it is to be lost. The Fool does not know where he's going. He is absolutely brand new on this leg of the quest, right? There is no destination. There is no rigid plan. There are no maps. He has got to surrender into the feeling of not knowing. And that's what he's about to do, jumping off this cliff. That's what he's psycho-spiritually about to commit to. He's traveling light. He is letting himself surrender to the air, the psycho-spiritual air. In other words, he is trusting that not knowing where he's going is sacred as fuck. He's trusting that he needs to lean back into that sense of being lost, trust it to guide him, and know that when the time comes for him to figure out the path, that will be then, but this is now. So it's really powerful. It's almost like you've been attended by spirit here. That spirit has interfered with my tarot deck and been like, oh, give the Fool, give the Fool. Because the Fool is really that sense that there is something to be celebrated in not knowing yet. Don't try and skip past this bit. Discipline yourself to lean into it. Let it make you sweat a little bit. But you will know where you're going soon enough. But right now, don't miss this opportunity to be lost. And to have the discipline to melt into that like a birthday jelly, okay? Okay. Okay. Advice for going forward on my career path from Forfeiture. Okay. And then we'll do Francis. What's blocking me from finding a house? Okay. So Forfeiture, advice for going forward on my career path, please. Oh, the Hierophant again. The Hierophant in this scenario is an interesting message about training, brushing up on our learning, figuring out where we actually want to qualify or how we want to shape our career based on what we know and what skills we have going forward. It might be a sign that actually now is a good opportunity for you to figure out short-term and long-term, where do you want to do some more training, some more reading or studying on your own time, and really figuring out how you want to brush up on your skill set or expand your skill set, so that not only will you be more effectual in the workforce, but you'll also be able to impress anyone you might need to impress. Okay, if you want to go for promotions, if you want to go into the managerial situation, whatever it is, the Hierophant is really that sense of like, well, come correct, come with the stuff you need, know answers to the questions that you previously haven't known answers to. Figure out whereabouts you're weakest in your career scenario. We all know where we're strong and where we have those weaker areas where we hope nobody asks us a question, or we hope we won't have to go and do something because it's not our strong area. The Hierophant is not only about leaning into the strengths and celebrating the strengths in your career path, but also have a look at where you are weaker and do some training, do some kind of, build some muscle around that area of things, and see if there are any opportunities that you can get into for any kind of free training, for any certifications, for any mentorships, for anything that's going to allow you to have a little bit more of the edge. Your pupil archetype is waking up again. You are ready to be one of these students at the foot of the Hierophant, listening intently and figuring out all these extra bits of knowledge that will enhance your career so much. What's blocking you from finding a house, Francis Smith? Let's find out. See if there's anything energetic. Forfeitir, thank you. Short-term goal and long-term goals is just what I was thinking of today. Awesome. You're so welcome, darling. Mara's Nook, had to take a break during the reading, just went back and watched it. The Five of Pentacles in your reading really resonated. A novel might be the way to go, with option for TV adaptation. Who knows? Yeah, that sounds great. Amazing. Okay. Francis Smith, the Star seems to be what's blocking. That's really interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I think the Star represents a few things here that are intriguing. Without knowing more of your situation, of what you're looking for in a home, I might suggest that the Star is a time of real raw vulnerability, but faith, right? So it's where we start to feel defeated, and we definitely feel naked. We definitely feel like, it's difficult for us to really gather up that sense of faith and gather up that sense of strength. But there's also this feeling underlying that we know that there is a constellation above. There is something that we're supposed to be following. We do need to keep that little faint flame of hope alive. And that's really hard sometimes for the Star. It's hard for her to do because that figure, I think, has been knocked back and faced various challenges and had to learn how to really balance energy and intention and do all of these things that have been difficult. So it's quite hard to believe that there is a North Star. There is something there that is supposed to be happening, and it's very much about divine timing, and it's very much about knowing that the house, the search for the house and the eventual finding of the right place is part of the quest. So you are being called to have faith. I do wonder if it's possible for you to actually speak to any gods, guides, ancestors, forces of nature, spiritual energies that swirl around you or that you work with. If you're low on faith, if you feel like things are being blocked and it's hard for you to believe that the right home is coming down the road, do speak with them, lean into their guidance, check in with them and ask them for some light, some warmth and some reassurance. I do think that when the more fragile, delicate part of the Star card comes through, it's a reminder that we are actually connected to all of this beautiful spiritual potency. And when we feel alone and we feel like things are not coming together and like, why the fuck can I not find this home? What is going on? It's really useful to call together a meeting of your council of beings, right? Call together all the things that give you comfort, that reassure you, that give messages to you, and just say to them, I don't need to know everything right now, but can you please just fucking tell me that this house is coming and that I have to just keep grinning and bearing it and being strong and being in my vulnerability around my deep desire to have a home, the beautiful home that I want, and really lean into what comes back, surrender to what comes back. I think the Star implies that there might be quite a lot of heightened emotion around this house hunt right now. Evidently, it's been difficult. And I think for certain reasons, maybe you feel that there are certain aspects of your healing journey that won't get started until you're in the new place. And so maybe you're also holding yourself back from a bit of the healing that you could start doing right now. Don't wait until you're in the new scenario. Don't wait for the house. Anything that you feel like you need to do for yourself and for your well-being, Do it now. Start doing it now. Don't think that like, I really need this to be done and then I can start on the rest of the journey, right? Avoid that, I think, at all costs. But the card acknowledges your raw feeling that you really want to find this place. And I think you need some spiritual reassurance that actually, you know, you are very much on your way to the place, but you need to have faith. The star is a faith card. Blonde Essence Raven, why am I feeling so lost in my practice? Oh, let's find out. Oh, I've got one card that is the wrong way around. Here we go. Why am I feeling so lost in my practice? Blonde Essence Raven, let's find out. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. This is powerful. Yeah. Two things. First of all, there might be a little bit of a loss of trust or a lack of trust when it comes to what you're doing in your practice. It might have been a little bit of wobbling. You know, it might have been a little bit of a wobble back there. Maybe you lost some connections spiritually. Maybe things weren't rising in the oven quite as much and you started to feel like, is this where I really need to be placing my trust? Is this what I should depend on spiritually? So maybe because energies were shifting a little bit and some things didn't quite work out, there was the feeling that like, it's hard for me now to lean into trust around this. It's hard for me to give faith to it and to give power to it. But you know what? Those wobbles, those things that happen, they happen to so many practitioners. Do you know the amount of mystics and witches I've spoken to that are like, I'm having a wobble because a spell hasn't worked in a while. I'm having a wobble because my deity won't talk to me right now and I don't know where they went and they were so vocal and now they're just gone. Right, I'm having a wobble because I thought I really wanted to pursue this area of study and now I'm pursuing it, it's not working. And you know, those little things, I think those wobbles cause us to lose trust in the path, sometimes in our beings and in ourselves. So it's really important for you to get a little bit of healing and perspective around this. Whatever happened that started you off on a bit of a feeling of like shakiness, right? Not feeling connected to a strong core in your practice. It's really important that you just acknowledge that like, yeah, that's something that practitioners go through. It should not call me away from what I'm doing with my practice, you know? So that's super important. And I think another thing it's really important to say with Seven of Swords is that one thing about feeling lost in our practice is that very often we can sabotage our opportunity to have incredible connections in our practice, incredible experiences. Don't sabotage yourself. One way that you may be sabotaging yourself is by telling yourself, I'd love to try that, but I'm not good enough. I'd love to do that, but I don't have time. You know, like all of these kinds of things. Spend time in practice, really. Doesn't have to be grandiose, doesn't have to cost loads of money, doesn't have to take loads of time. You don't have to read a thick book before you can do it. Just do it. Be in practice more often. Don't fuck yourself out of the experiences that you want to have with your spiritual practice. All right, let's have a look at Angel. Hello, lovely. You inspire me so much. I was wondering how I can grow spiritually while getting my mental health right as I am in the military. Angel, thank you so much for your super chat, darling. And let me do this for you now. Grow spiritually whilst getting mental health right during military time. Okay. Ooh, the Magician. This is powerful. This is powerful. I think that this is a bit like maybe heavy-handed, you might feel like, but I feel like this is about your fucking destiny. I feel like this is a mirror card. And what I mean by mirror card is that every so often a card will come up and it will be a mirror of what the person needs to see in themselves. And I think for you, Angel, that's where this is taking me. You are supposed to understand that you've always had a very, very strong magician archetype. You've always had those abilities. There's always been that sense that you have power, you have a magical or spiritual skill set, you have discernment and insight, you receive messages from beyond the material realm. There is a sense that you've always had this strong core, and the strong core will lead you through numerous different trials and challenges, and that no matter where you go in life, what you do, you always kind of feel a little bit like the magician deep down. And I feel like that is the mirror card for you. how to grow spiritually is really about linking into the fact that you've always been a spiritual person. You are a mystic. It is something that nobody could drum out of you, and that people have seen in you over time. And so what's really important is to decide, well, what needs to be in my toolkit? You know, the magician has selected his tools, and now it's time for you to do the same. It's time for you to decide, what do I need for my mental well-being? What works? Is it meditation? Is it divination? Is it spiritual journaling? Am I supposed to be connecting with a being? You know, what is it that helps me? Is it simple rituals? What is it? And I think that that's really important for you when it comes to deciding what will be good for your mental health, for your time in the military, and also for connecting to this identity, the magic maker, the sorcerer. I think for you, it is very much a mirror card. It's powerful, and it asks you to keep having faith in your ability to move forward spiritually in any scenario and be always that open spiritual seeker that you've been, I should imagine, since birth. Hi, Butterfly Magic with hot tea. I'm not saying the magician's a mirror card in general. I think every card, any card can be a mirror card for a person at a set time, you know? Yeah, not knowing what to do specifically. Angel, I think, to be honest with you, it's about keeping it simple, right? So yeah, if you feel like you're overwhelmed and you're like, okay, I'm the magician, fine, but like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Then I always feel, for me, the most basic thing is the most powerful. If I don't know what to do, I'll literally just like draw a card and meditate on it. I'll just do some breathing exercises. I'll protect my energy. Just things like that, just beautiful, simple, basic witch things that I know I can do to just like connect me back to my core, you know, make me feel like I'm in practice and I'm enjoying my practice. I'm not doing anything too ambitious, you know. All right. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes, I think, guys. I would love to do this all night long, like Lionel Richie before me, but I don't think I can. I think I'm going to take my leave of you guys in a few minutes, like 10 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 15. Oh yeah, cool, yeah. Oh, darlings, I appreciate you all so much too. Thank you so much for coming. I've been on for nearly 2 hours and I can't believe it. That's so crazy. Oh, love your videos. Thank you, darling. Really appreciate that. That's lovely of you. Okay, let me have a little look. Lou Valcourt. I wrote a question earlier, so please ignore duplicate. I was wanting some advice on my business. Thanks so much for doing this and all you give. Thank you, darling. Okay, advice for your business. Thackeray says, thanks for being willing to try something new and do a live one card reading. I know it's outside your normal. Yes, it is very much outside my normal. I think next time we do this, it'll have to be a fundraiser. We've got to do a fundraiser, and I will do it for an expanded amount of time, since it's obviously so popular. I had no idea it was going to be. I knew it was going to be popular, but guys, you've bowled me over. You've overwhelmed me with the popularity of this. So yeah, we got to do a fundraiser for like medical aid for Palestinians, and we should like do this all night long, all night, all night, all night long. Like Lionel Richie before me. Sorry, I love that song so much. Okay, Lou, let's have a look. What advice you need for your business? Temperance. Ooh, powerful. Love this. This shows a really beautiful magical sophistication. Temperance, whenever people see temperance, they often think about balance, moderation, you know, balancing work and play, balancing the internal with the external, balancing light and shadow. And yes, it is a lot to do with those things. But the other thing temperance is about that I think sometimes gets overlooked is it's about refinement. It's about alchemy. It's about mixing different things together so they create something that is more than just the sum of its parts, right? That actually it's like something that transformed itself, right? It's base metal into gold. I love the fact that you got temperance, because what it's saying about your business is that you are so ready to start blending things together. You're ready to start doing spells for your business. If you haven't done a spell for your business in a while, you need to do one fucking ASAP, because this is a really good sign that your spellcraft for business will be cooking on gas. So if you want more visibility, if you want more money, if you want to expand your audience, if you want fresh ideas, do spells for these things for definite. But also it's implying that like you're going to be bringing certain things together, and I think maybe creating even some new products and services. Like, things are going to start coming out of your brain box, Lou, that really are very unique to you, things that you've been thinking about for a while, things that you might have been kind of like making mental notes of, and you're going to start to create things with those ideas. Temperance is almost about being in the lab, right? It's about testing things, refining things, mixing things together, and making magic happen out of what comes through. And you have a lot of potential at this point in time for you to be able to refine and alchemize. There might be a little bit of new ideas around branding, a little bit of a new vision for you around how you want your business to be perceived, what the marketing copy is going to be like. I think there's definitely room for a little bit of a visual shift, because again, temperance is alchemy, refinement, it's switching things up, it's finding that perfect balance of different ingredients that make a meal of it, baby, that make it come to life. And it might be that you've been through a few changes since the last iteration of your business, and you would like your branding and the language that you communicate your products and services to reflect those changes. So you've upgraded, so your business must upgrade also. It's Panda. I was wondering what would be the best steps in my illustration career. Okay. Best steps in your illustration career, baby. Let's look. Interesting. The star is very popular at the moment. I love this. Okay, so star's great for career stuff because we have this constellation up here. Okay, the master list of stars have come together. This is your North Star. This is your absolute mission. Okay, so let's say that this is your career, your role as an illustrator, the vision that you have for your future, how much you love illustration, and everything that you want to be in your illustration career. Okay, so yeah, it's really that North Star that we're looking at, but the constellation is all of these different steps that get us to where we need to be in career. So very powerful. I think what the star might imply for you taking steps in your illustration career is lean into your sensitivity as an illustrator. The star is so much to do with, I want to even say fragility, vulnerability, sensitivity, fragility, that feeling of being unarmored and having to have faith in the essential goodness of something and the possibility of something without really like being able to go in with the cavalry. The star is very much open to this experience, following the quest towards the North Star, stopping to retrieve water, to experience nutrition, and also to put something back onto the land that feeds and cultivates her. But there's also this incredible sense that, like, you know, she's vulnerable. She allows herself to desire what she wants. And I think within your illustration style, it might be time to start cracking yourself open, showing your vulnerability. You know, maybe your illustration work needs to get more sensitive, more honest. It needs to go more under the hood. Maybe there's a way of approaching your art that you've been scared of doing so far because it is vulnerable. Maybe it's different from what a lot of other illustrators are doing. Maybe it's kind of scary, but it's something that actually would make you feel more authentic in your illustration style. The star is beautiful because it implies that for you, your illustration work has been a great form of personal healing for you. But I think what's really interesting is that your illustration work will one day go on to be healing to others. And that's what I think you might want to consider, is like, how would my style of illustration actually be healing to others? How would it be the case that I could really do something that will allow people to unlock their sensitivity and feel into their healing journey? I think your illustration work has the potential to be that and so much more. So that's super powerful. It's Panda says, wow, I actually got emotional seeing the star. This is totally me at the moment. It's emotional, and I love that it's come up quite a bit for people, you know, that's really nice. Tallulah says, how should I move on? Oh, how should I move on? Bloody good question. I just realised, you know, I haven't been on for 2 hours. I've been on for an hour and a half. Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer. How do I move on? Tallulah, that is a deep question. Let's find you a deep answer. The Chariot again. Baby, you move on really boldly by like really embracing an adventure that is to do with you, that's to do with your interests and your joy and your incredible excitement about something that you are a super nerd about. The charioteer leaves his town to go on a quest that is deeply, deeply personal to him. He throws himself into something. So this is like, the charioteer, when it comes to moving on, is like when you go through a breakup and you immediately start delving into a really specific form of research or training, or you go through a breakup or you lose somebody, whatever, and you immediately go into learning a specific art format or learning a language or learning an instrument, right? Or like going on a trip somewhere, planning a trip to go on a pilgrimage somewhere. It's actually specifically the art of adventure in the service of healing your heart, right? The charioteer is the type of figure in tarot that would be like, I'm in pain, that was fucking shit, ow, 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 and now I'm going to bloody do something that I've been meaning to do. I'm going to do something that is just for me. I'm going to have a fucking adventure. I'm going to go on a quest. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to travel somewhere, and it's going to be all about me and what I want to do. The solo traveler, with the healing heart, I think, is the archetype that is coming through for you. How to move on would be to do so in style, to do so with some panache, darling. You're going to move on as if to be like, oh, good, I've been waiting to have the room and the space to be able to do this instead. And that's what I choose to do. So choose what it is. What will your quest be? Your solo quest, your independent quest that helps you to move on from whatever difficult thing you're moving on from. It's going to be something big. You're going to do it in style. Oh, okay. So Gaia Yo-Yo says, would you do a closing group card? What does this live group need to know as a common message? Yeah, that's a really good idea. I will do that. I'm going to do a few more questions, but then, yeah, I'd love to do a closing card for everybody. That would be so cool. Yeah, I've seen that. I will do it before the end. Absolutely. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a few more because actually I was exaggerating before. I haven't been here as long as I thought. But definitely I'm getting a tight throat. So, excuse me. We have to do another one of these and we have to make it a fundraiser. Should we do that? I think it's a good idea. Fuck yeah. I'm so into that idea. Just have a little look at the comments. Tallulah says, there's a lot of pain in my life right now. Oh, bless you, darling. And wow, that's pretty accurate. What will be my solo quest? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, exactly, baby. Fuck yeah, you choose your solo quest. Love that for you. Okay. Katie Cat, hi Kellyanne. I'd like to know what should be my primary focus or concern for the near future. Okay, Katie Cat. Ooh, 8 of Cups. Very powerful. Your primary focus or concern seems to have something to do with making sure that you feel able to move on from anything that you've been putting a lot of emotional investment and a lot of energy into, but you've not really been getting the return on that investment for some time. And in fact, in some ways, it might even feel a little bit unfair or a little bit as though you've been kind of stagnating, waiting for things to change. This is the permission for you to put on your traveling cloak, for you to decide that actually you're going to start to invest your energy a little bit differently. You're going to start to give of yourself emotionally in a different kind of way. Anywhere where you feel like you've been giving, investing, outpouring, but you've not really been seeing change, you've not really been seeing that it's helped the other person or that you have been appreciated, you can now start to decide, okay, I want to start to redistribute my energy. And 8 of Cups has got a lot to do with redistribution of energy. It's about deciding, like, you know what, I put a lot of energy into this. I've made a certain amount of progress. It's fine. But like, I can't get these pieces where I need them to be, you know, to make it into a full sort of structure. And there's other things that I want to do. There's other people that I might want to spend time with. There's other projects that I might want to put my attention on. So you have the opportunity now to reshuffle your energy. How do you want to redistribute it? And one thing that I would ask you in relation to 8 of Cups, darling, is how much energy do you want to give to other people, to collaborative projects, to connections in your life, to collective work, versus How much do you want to give to yourself in terms of self-care, self-nurturing, personal healing, shadow work, spiritual work, your own personal pursuits? Because you do get a chance to have a little bit of an energetic reshuffle there too. You don't always have to stay delivering the same amount of energy to people and things time after time. You get the opportunity to take the power back and say, oh, I'm not focusing on that at all next month. I'm actually going to be fucking working on this, and utilize the power that you have to be able to do that, you know? All right, I think I might skip around a little bit now. Let's have a little bit of skipping. Ricky Sheldon, how can I tell if I should work with a goddess I feel connected to? I feel connected to one, but I feel held back because of my past dealings with other deities. Okay. So how can I tell if I should work with a goddess I feel connected to? All right. Good question. Very, very interesting. 5 of Pentacles. How can you tell if you should work with a goddess that you feel connected to? I think it's really about how much you feel like this. You know, like, it's possible, because 5 of Pentacles can often have to do with being shut out, feeling destitute, feeling unstable in our sense of what we really have from a situation, feeling scared, feeling wounded, all of that kind of thing. If you feel like, as you're making your way towards engagement with this deity, that you're starting to feel those fears come up, it might be that you're not ready yet to start connecting more closely to that deity, because it's bringing up that feeling of loss, that scarcity mindset, that feeling that you have that came from previous work with deities. You don't want to make yourself feel unsafe, you know, so maybe it's about taking it a bit slower. If you look at this, these people are bandaged, they are wounded, they are in the cold, they are in rags, right? So I think this is supposed to symbolize difficulty that you've had in the past with other dealings with other beings, with confusions around that, with any kind of fear that might have brought you to the point you're at now, where you're not really sure whether or not you can move forward with this fresh being that's on the scene, right? So we have to respect that there is a part of you that is confused or wounded by prior situations, and that's not something that we can rush. But you don't have to dedicate yourself to a being to see whether or not they're going to be able to have a beautiful relationship with you that won't feel scary and won't feel like you're out in the cold. You don't have to dedicate to a being to find that out. You can court the being. You can date them a little. Please don't think that you have to make the decision based on no awareness or understanding of how you and the being work together, because that isn't the case, right? With my being, with Hell, I didn't just like dedicate to her out of nowhere because I felt like there was going to be a connection. There was a long courtship where I began to feel more and more like there's that warmth, there's that stability. I feel like more and more is happening over time, over a long gradual time. And it was only then that I realized, like, this is actually really warm, you know? This doesn't feel like this. It feels like this. It feels like what's in there, you know? And it's only at that point that you have to get more serious and more dedicated. So really don't worry about it, right? You can go slowly. I think it's really, really important to note that. And yes, you are going to feel like this at the beginning of anything that feels kind of major because you have these prior difficulties, but just be gentle, go easy. Don't expect it to feel, you know, super intensely beautiful from the start, but don't expect that you're going to either feel, you're going to feel like this about every being that you come across, you know? You want to get in there, right? You want to feel about a deity the way these people will feel when they get into the warm, and you can have that. But there's also been some difficulties in the past, so don't rush it. Court the being. Just spend time, just ask for some communication. Just say, hey, I feel like you're around, can you give me a sign? Or just like, I feel like you're around and I feel positive towards you, I feel warm towards you, and let it go slowly, you know? Okay, let me see. Okay, I need to tick these. These have got to be ticked. I'm just ticking all the ones I've done so I can make sure. Okay. Let me have a look. Nada, we have had a few repetitive cards. We've had a few stars, a few chariots. We've had King of Wands twice. We've had the, what else have we had? Yeah, we've had the King of Wands has definitely come up twice. So yeah, it is always interesting to see that. But I think the cards are so versatile that when you connect them with a specific question, they also can really give such different advice, which is really interesting. All right, let's have a look. Left on red. How to successfully move up in my career and get a promotion or pay rise while juggling a PhD program and family. I don't want to be perceived as a know-it-all or show-off or overqualified. Ooh, okay. Successfully move up in your career while juggling a PhD program and family. Okay. Let's see. This is going to be an... Oh, I've got a jumper. I don't read jumpers though. I'm just going to put it back. This is going to be an interesting one because it looks a little bit like kind of a question about how you're perceived by others and how you want to make sure that like you don't put out some kind of message that you are a cut above, basically. Yeah. Okay. The Fool. Interesting. I love this. I think this is intriguing when it comes to moving up in your career, getting a promotion, getting a pay rise, right? You want all of these things, but you're also aware of how it might come across to people and maybe even how it might change you. Because you're clearly very ambitious. You clearly have a strong sovereign vision of where you want to go. The Fool is a reminder that we do not exactly get to plan every point in the journey. We have to let go and let God, as it were, right? We have to know that, like, if I'm going to go on this adventure, if I'm going to agree with myself that I'm willing to do this, I want to go all the way, I want to get the promotions, I want to be in a position of power, I want to do all of that. We have to acknowledge that that is a journey that may change us. And it may cause us to need certain things, or it might cause us to, you know, like, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. I'm sort of reading them out the corner of my eye. It might cause us to want to change certain things, you know, as you go forward in your progression and you agree to this quest, and clearly it's a significant quest. As you go forward, you're thinking to yourself, like, you know, I want these things and I want to develop myself in this way. But also the Fool is about the part of the journey, the parts of the journey that we don't understand, we're not going to be able to plan for. So it's really important not to worry about the far-flung future and think about, damn, how will I be perceived? How will I be able to manage family and PhD program and, you know, promotions, etc. It's really important that you witness that you don't know all of those steps and all of those jigsaw pieces. You're supposed to be enjoying what's happening now. The Fool is in the moment. The Fool is saying, I can't wait for the future, but I don't know what it's going to be. And I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with like leaning into the fact that I am on some sort of journey and I don't know what is going to happen. And as you go forward and you progress more and more in your career, darling, there are going to be more avenues that are going to open, right? As we play the game of chess changes. Right, we don't just get to move our piece and then there's no repercussions for anything else on the board. The game of chess evolves and develops as you move your pieces. So you don't really get to plan for the future in that way. You have to acknowledge that, like, this is my soul's calling and I'm going into it and it's going to be beautiful. But one thing I will say that's very important, never lose your sense of fun. That is one way that you will be able to move forward in your career, make progress in your career, but you won't be seen as a know-it-all or a stick in the mud or a fuddy-duddy or whatever. Keep your sense of fun. The Fool is fun. He's a fun-loving motherfucker. The Fool wants joy, wants play, wants curiosity, is inquisitive, is open to the great big beyond. If you stay like that, no matter how serious your work life gets, right? I don't care. And when you're a doctor and you're as high as you can possibly be on the scale of whatever industry you're in, if you keep it fun, okay, if you keep connected to your sense of comedy and joy and spontaneity, you will always shine through. Your true soul and your true spirit will shine through. Don't forget, don't be so serious. Not so serious, okay? Thank you, darlings, for all your lovely comments about my reading style. It's really, really sweet. I appreciate that. It's really lovely of you. I'm just kind of dipping around a bit now. Let me do this super chat and go down here. Yosai, my BFF is in the final stages of brain cancer. Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry. She just turned 35 and has a little girl. I fear I'm not enough to help give her any peace. Well, that's not fucking true. That's not true. The star keeps appearing when I read. Is there a card I can also meditate on for wisdom? You know, I know everybody, when they come to end of life, they have different needs and different desires about who they want around them. I do get that. Like, some people actually just want to be left alone after a certain time, and they want loved ones to remember them as they were. And for other people, they allow themselves, and if they feel they want to and they can, to really have those final moments and to depend in those final moments, right? And so obviously I don't know what the situation is with your friend and how she's choosing to approach her end of life, but I can tell you this, that there is absolutely no way that you have not given that person peace, your friend peace, your best friend, while they've been struggling with this. There's no way. You know, you will have been a beacon of peace at various times, and all of the memories that you've sewn together with this beautiful human will be part of what has made that beacon shine. There's no way that you could ever be useless in this situation. There just isn't. The people that are closest to a person on the brink of passing over are always of use, always. You know, you'll either be of use practically, or you'll be of use in terms of all the many memories that you've sown that have been part of what has made this person's life so fucking meaningful. So I guess I wanted to say that before I draw cards. Okay, let's have a look at something else to meditate on for you this really, really difficult time. So interesting. Seven of Swords. This is powerful. You feel cheated, basically. And I think it's important to be able to meditate on these things too. You know, like the star, the card that you have been receiving, babe, for meditation and contemplation is so powerful. You know, it is about your healing, and it is about faith in the process, and it is about the achingly fragile, beautiful memories of all the things you've shared with your friend. But I think what this card does is it might tap into the anger. It might tap into that sense that you've been robbed, because that is what I would feel. And I think that that's what has come through. It's like ridiculously powerful, because, you know, this being, this figure in Seven of Swords is stealing something that doesn't belong to them, something that should stay put, something that should be where it is and should stay where it is, but it's not going to be. It's going to be taken, right? And so to me, I think what this card does is it gives you permission. It gives you permission to do the primal screaming part of what you are doing. I think it gives you permission to really link into the fact that this is not justified. This will never be just. It is a deeply unfair thing for anybody to have to go through. And I think this is the injustice. This is the feeling that you've been robbed. This is the feeling that you would have bled and sweated for any other fucking outcome than this. And yet this is what is happening. I think it holds the part of you that can't be the star, that can't do that part, right? It's that part of you that might feel enraged and might feel completely disgusted that such an unjust loss could be possible. And I think that the card witnesses that part of you, if that makes sense. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, my voice will always wobble when we talk about this, for sure. Hayley says, it's so tough. I lost my cousin at the age of 35 too. This Seven of Swords resonates with me too. Yeah, it's almost like you want to go in and throttle him, don't you? You're just like, because it's a representation that we would, you know, that we feel something has been so fucking utterly unjustifiably stolen, and that will never be okay. That will just never be okay. I think it's that part that maybe you need a home for in your meditation, you know? Hits home so hard, Kellyanne. This is so spot on. Thank you, thank you. You're so welcome, darling. You're so welcome. All right, darlings, I am going to start to pack up. I'm going to do like a few more. Full transparency, I have been kind of scrolling around now, but I got, well, what did I do in order? I did quite a few in order. Yeah. Let me have a little look.
There's also the group one, which
I'm definitely going to, yeah, I'm definitely going to finish with the group one for sure. And then we will do this again. It will be a fundraiser. I'll definitely do it again. Literally, Wendy said, I lost my younger sister in April to breast cancer and feeling cheated out of time, out of the experiences you won't get to share with that person. Such a painful way to lose someone. I'm so sorry for your loss, darling. I really am so sorry. That's so painful. It's Panda says, I miss my mum, so I totally feel this. Yeah. Slinky Ink says, I lost my first love when we were 23. The instant your voice broke, I welled up with tears too. Bless this querent and bless you, Kellyanne. You guys are amazing, honestly. You guys are amazing. So many of you have been through so much, and you just have so much heart and so much compassion. And you hold things, you know, like you do hold hard things very, very well. You know, there's a lot of communities in spirituality that I think as soon as we started talking about death and dying, the numbers would just drop. They'd be like, nah, I'm not doing this. This is not what I came for. I came for the white light. But not you lot. You lot are in it, really in it. And you know that death is part of it. And anger is part of it. It's really powerful. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more and then I will go. We will do the group one and then go. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Linda Estevez. In my crone years, I'm contemplating making a change I know I need to make. Is there any advice you can give to help me overcome these fears? Yes. Let's see. What advice do you need to make the change you need to make in your crone years? Let's see. So interesting. Page of Swords. Wow, this is bold. I wonder if the change that you want to make is quite fucking bold. Because Page of Swords is my piss and vinegar page, baby. He is to the front. He's gasbagging. He's giving his ideas. He's swinging his sword to create some kind of space for him to, like, he's taking up space. He's coming forward. He's very enthused. You know, his mind is going like shit off a shovel and he really wants to express. I think of Page of Swords as the page that is really kind of like, give me some room, give me some space. I want to do something here. I want to say something here. And there is a beautiful kind of like raw potency to it because it's not all planned out and set in stone. But my God, the intensity behind it, the enthusiasm behind it is really big time. I think what this implies... Oh, hang on. It says I've gone live again. Did I drop out for a second?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I think what this implies is that whatever change you're thinking of making, that you know that you need to make, I think it's a change that might include some kind of visibility, some kind of maybe worry that you are going to be seen. You're going to have to speak up. You're going to have to do something very different to what you've been doing, and people might judge and people might talk. You're going to have to be a bit bolder. You're going to have to be assertive in some way as you begin to make this change in your crone years. And it's going to require for you to really feel like you fucking deserve to be able to make this change. And detractors be damned. And, you know, essentially it's just kind of like that you deserve to take that space. You deserve to take that space. So I think Page of Swords is a boldness. It's a feeling that you want to enter your crone years absolutely like, you know, to your chest out, speaking boldly, knowing that you have the absolute right to have your opinion. You have the absolute right to have your sense of like, you know, what needs to happen next, how you want to express yourself in this reality. But it will take boldness. You will be visible. There is something about it that's a little bit like, oh my God, I'm going to have to like come to the front in my own reality, and people might have something to say, or they might think something or whatever, but it's actually super powerful. I think crone years are a key time where I've spoken to a lot of people who, as they've moved into crone, they're like, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to fucking do this boldly and not care, right? Ridicule is nothing to be scared of, Prince Charming. So it's very powerful. Your crone years will be a time of some measure of visibility and some measure of really showing up in your own life, doing what you most want to do. Darlings, in answer to your questions, there was never really any rule about super chats. I like to get to them on and off as a gesture, but super chats are, I think they're tips for my work. They're not payment for a reading. The readings are free. Shane says, I would love to do this monthly if possible. We could just pay what you can, starting at some smaller amount to make it more doable for you. Oh, yes. No, I would love to do this monthly, but I think monthly would be a little full on for me, being as I am a full-time card slinger. And actually, it has been rather, it's great. I love doing this, but it's interesting because, like, obviously I've got the chat. Maybe I can can I try the, yeah, none. Yeah, I've been looking at the chat, which is kind of silly because I do have it over here, but I'm so used to looking at it here that I've been distracted a couple of times. But yeah, I'd love to do this monthly, but I shall choose not to, actually, if that's okay. But we will definitely do another one of these and make it into a fundraiser. I saw Michaela ask a question about that, actually. Hang on, let me have a look.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
The best way to donate.
Best way to do it, yeah. Well, you can make a fundraiser, and I think all your super chats go to the fundraiser. I'm not really sure how it works, but I've seen fundraising live, so we need to figure it out. For sure, we'll figure it out. But I've had a fucking gorgeous time doing this with you guys. It's been lovely. Like mesmerizing, honestly. I'm so sorry that there were so many more questions than I have time to get to, but yeah, like I really loved this. Shane says, understandable, I'm just happy to see you getting tips. Yeah, I love my tips, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this. Oh, Michaela saying quarterly. Oh, people really love this. It's sweet. It's really sweet. I really appreciate it. That's so fucking lovely of you.
On this one.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll try and improve the format as we move forward.
Yeah, I think we did good. We were like, when people started piling in, I was like, okay, well, like, we're never gonna fucking be able to do all these questions, and that's fine. It's just not gonna happen, like, obviously, but I hope that everybody that got an answer enjoyed it, and I hope anyone who just took anything from the cards, you know, if it wasn't for you, but you knew it was about you.
Closing group card?
I'm going to do the closing now. Yeah, we're going to do a card for everybody. So thankful for this offering. Thank you, darlings. You guys are great. And yes, somebody asked, will this stay up? It absolutely will stay up. Yeah, it will stay up. All my lives stay up, baby. So hello to anybody watching on playback long into the future. All right, let's have a look. What card will come up for all of us that join this live or are watching on playback? I'm not really into general reads for everybody. It's not really my thing, but I think just take what you want from it. You know what I mean? I wonder if it will be a repeat card because we've had a lot of repeat cards this time. It's been quite thrilling because usually sometimes I don't see a card for weeks and weeks and weeks when I'm doing readings for people, but this time got a lot of repeats. Okay, the card for all of us. Ooh, 5 of Wands. Drama. I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am. Yeah, 5 of Wands, so cool. I love this. Okay, so 5 of Wands is powerful because really what it's about is it's about how much you want to get in the game, right? Like Five of Wands, yes, it looks competitive. It looks like lots of different like lots of different fire charges all driving into a competition or a fight together. No, we haven't had Five of Wands so far, no. So it looks like a conflict. It looks kind of hectic. It looks kind of messy. But if you think about it as the game of life, right? Just so much different energy of creativity and imagination and determination and will and conflict and all of that stuff, right? Then you can think about yourself as being about to jump in the game, right? You're feeling motivated, you're feeling excited, you want to take your little bit of ground, you want to do your thing. When I look at Five of Wands, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, you know what? That is so much. That is just so much. There's like so many different forces of will, right? So many people want different things or so many different creative ideas, right? Because these people might be people in life that you know, or like situation unfolding, but these people can also symbolize like your own creative ideas or your own motivations or your past, your present, your future self, and your like these are just conflicting elements, conflicting slices of the element of fire, meaning they want different things, they're going in different directions, they're fighting for a piece of land, and so it can be a healthy competition or it can be a really rather hectic fight. But every single time I've made a commitment to myself that I want to do something, I want to commit to something, I feel like I'm jumping in the game. I feel like I'm looking at the craziness that is this reality and I'm like, give me a wand, I'm going in. I'm going in. Don't fucking try and stop me. I'm writing this book. I'm building this business. I'm doing this relationship with this man I'm terrified of falling in love with. I'm fucking doing it. And I've done it. I've done that all my life. Every so often I will like have a feeling of like, it's time. I'm doing this. It's going to be hard. Yeah. There might be competition. There might be inner conflict. There might be external conflict. I might not know what I'm doing sometimes, but for fuck's sake, I'm ready. Give me a wand. I'm going in. So I want this card to encourage each of us to ask, whereabouts am I just about ready to get in the fucking game? Whereabouts have I been like maybe sat on the bench with an injury for a while, kind of looking at everything and thinking that looks a bit much, that looks kind of crazy, that looks kind of scary, I don't know if I can enter that world, I don't know if I can do that thing I said I was going to do. But now suddenly there's this feeling of like, maybe I'm ready to get back in the fucking game. Maybe people should watch the fuck out, because I actually, let me roll my sleeves up and get myself a motherfucking wand and get back in. So I almost feel like this is our coach, this is our football coach card, and it's just like, get up, you're fine, your bandage is off, you're back to full health, get in the fucking game. And ask yourself, where do you want to do that? Do you want to do that with social life, spiritual, creative? Do you want to do that in some personal project of yours? Do you want to do it in collective work, activism, with your business journey? Like, where are you about to get back in the fucking game? And people better fall into line or get the fuck out of your way, because you have got it to give and you are just about to give it. What a great group card. Love that. Oh, Wicked Witch says, I've been wanting to, but life's kind of brutal lately, so I'm kind of scared. Yeah, you give yourself a breather, give yourself a long run up, you know, and just know that like when you get in the game, it's not, you don't have to do everything all at once, but you have to say, today I'm doing this, that I'm going to conquer that mountain. That's my bit of land that I'm going to go and fight for. Look at that. So just like be specific, zoom in, you know, get a little bit of zoomed in lens over what you want to do and make it happen. Don't overstuff yourself with responsibilities. But exactly, Hannah Emery said it best. Shania Twain, let's go girls. That was the vibe I was trying to get. Hannah, thank you so much. Hannah, why do you always come in at the last minute, babe, and give me what I need? That's what I should have said. I should have literally just held this up and gone, let's go girls. That's what I was trying to get to. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate. Pamela says, love that ending. Got my funding back, so bitch is back to slay. Love that. Belle says, give yourself a long run up. I love that. Run for a minute and then you got to kick. Yes. Oh, I love you guys. Tendril says, thanks for the stream. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I know Matthew did the self-care paramount message a while ago. Love that. Our Patreon Pop-Tarts always have Matthew reminding us all to get our snacks and drinks and be hydrated, because self-care is paramount. And I love that you put it here as well, Matthew. Thank you. All right. Don't forget, keep that Shania Twain energy. You guys are amazing. I've really appreciated this. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've loved it. I don't know if Danny's loved it. We're going to have a debrief. We're going to have a post-mortem afterwards.
It's been fucking good.
You're right. Did you enjoy it? I really enjoyed it. It was cool. I've never done this before. It was really, really cool. I was thinking, says thanks to Danny for all his effort. Yeah, thank you, darling, for helping me to find questions in the midst of all the chat. All the love to Danny. Oh, so much love for Danny. Darlings, thank you so much. I really appreciated this. If you guys would like, if any of you would like a full length reading or a little one card Lone Star reading, you know where to go. It's Kelly-Maddox. Kelly-Maddox.com. I was like, wait a minute, is that right? Yeah, Kelly-Maddox.com. You can go over there. The archive is open at the moment right now too, guys. So if you missed any of my previous workshops or courses, then you have an opportunity from now until the 25th of August to go in and buy them. You know, so I'm giving you a little second chance. But yeah, come and get booked into my schedule. If you loved this and you want more, then I am always available for readings. It is what I do full time, baby, full time. And really, really appreciate you all so, so much. Much love. I'm off. And next week I'm going to be off for a while because I'm going to a festival and it's going to be epic. When I'll be dancing, I'll be thinking of you all. Much love, darlings. Mwah. This was gorgeous. Thank you so much. Take care. Mwah, mwah. Free Palestine, baby. Free Palestine.